Chicago. 2 robberies within an hour in Chicago. Check it out.
Into news breaking overnight, Chicago police investigating 2 armed robberies, both in the Westtown neighborhood.
A man was hurt in one incident. Mugo Digwe is live outside Chicago Police headquarters with what these cases have in common. Good morning, Mugo.
Good morning to you, Dana and Audrina. So Chicago police say the first robbery involved 4 suspects. The second had 3, but in both of those robberies, we know the suspects got away in a dark-colored sedan. Now, that first robbery happened around 8:30 last night near Iowa and Washtenaw in Westtown. Police say a 42-year-old man was walking on the sidewalk when 4 suspects got out of a dark-colored sedan. One of them had a handgun. They hit the man on the head with the gun, and they took his belongings before driving away in the sedan. Police say the victim was left with injuries to his head and was taken to the hospital for treatment. Then less than an hour later, just before 9:20 last night, police tell us a 67-year-old man was out just walking his dog on Chestnut and Elizabeth, and he was approached by 3 male suspects. Those suspects also got out of a dark-colored sedan, and one of them was armed. They took the man's belongings and drove off in the sedan, but this time the victim was not hurt. Right now, Chicago police have not said if those 2 robberies from last night are connected, but we know no one has been arrested.
Well, listen, y'all can't depend on the police officers or the police department to protect you. They are there to respond. They're not necessarily there to prevent. We also know that ShotSpotter was removed from Chicago, so it's very, very difficult for y'all to be able to protect yourselves. But I don't know what the gun laws are in Chicago, but if you can get your CPL, your concealed pistols license, conceal and carry legally, and don't get caught slipping because they don't care anything about you. They don't care about your stuff. They don't care about your dog. They don't care about your cars. They will carjack you, rob you, and keep it moving and act like they never seen you. They will forget you tomorrow and won't be thinking twice about you. All right. So in addition to that, on Quick Hits, insurance companies are pivoting and changing course on how much anesthesia that they will be administering to you, or whether or not they would cut off the anesthesia during a surgery. Check it out.
An about-face tonight from Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, reversing its plan to put time limits on anesthesia care in 3 states. An idea blasted by doctors.
I would love to have a one-on-one talk with the person that thought this was a good idea.
And policymakers.
I think the outpouring of concern that I heard from my constituents was just shock.
Connecticut Comptroller Sean Scanlon runs the largest healthcare plan in the state.
It's not in the best interest of the patient to cut off their coverage for anesthesia in the middle of a surgery just because it's reached some arbitrary time limit.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul called it outrageous. Dr. Gregory Levitin is a vascular birthmark surgeon.
Is this even workable in surgery?
All right, what is it? A vascular birthmark surgeon? Is that what she said?
The vascular birthmark surgeon.
Is this even workable in surgery?
I don't see how this could be applied across the board. Anesthesiologists do not control the amount of time that is spent under anesthesia. A surgeon who is well trained has a protocol or step-by-step process for performing a surgery. It's not something that's time dependent, but it's technically dependent.
In announcing the reversal, Anthem cited what it called widespread misinformation and said it never was and never will be the policy of Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield not to pay for medically necessary anesthesia services. Relief for patients, doctors, and policymakers tonight. Ann Thompson, NBC News.
A lot of people are attributing this specifically to CEOs of these companies being targeted, it looks like. I've even heard of CEOs' faces from them being removed from LinkedIn, from their being removed from org charts and things like that for their safety. I don't agree with the possibility in those 3 states of you being able to limit the amount of anesthesia that's being administered. But I think that there's a broader conversation that should be had that's not being had. A lot of people are so emotional and outraged about certain things, and it's easy to get your talking points off of TikTok and things like that. But we're not really having the fundamental conversations. And in this live stream today, we're going to go over, I know Joy Reid had a lot to say about the United Healthcare and the healthcare industry and then tried to tie it back to Donald Trump. I don't know how she did that. I haven't even watched the video yet, but I'm definitely going to review it today for y'all. And we're going to get to that point. But I think that there's a deeper conversation that needs to be had that's not being had. It's not being had at all. And what I mean by that is the cost of healthcare. What is driving up the cost of healthcare? Um, how they bill and how they make up for people that don't pay their healthcare bills when they go to the hospital or they go to the emergency. So basically, that then becomes an added cost that's passed over to the consumer or the healthcare providers. How healthcare can ruin your life if you don't pay a healthcare bill. All of those different things, really, the cost of these things, and prescription medication and all of those things, right? Research and development. Everything is interconnected, and I don't think that it's a big enough conversation that's being had. I think we just like to make circular arguments and try to find a villain instead of looking at what the pillar is that's causing all of these things to have a domino effect of how things is actually affecting your life. Somebody said the food is rotten, but then at the same time, people will sit here and advocate against um, RFK Jr. readdressing what the FDA is putting inside of our food. We don't go all the way back to the inception. Should we even be in a position of where we're getting as sick as we are? I just looked at a video and I was thinking about making it a part of Quick Hits where 91 people that were a part of the World Trade Center thing that wound up surviving it, over 91 people now got breast cancer from it. You see what I'm saying? The standards that we use in the construction materials, the food, the type of foods that we put inside of our body, and the Food and Drug and Health Administration and all of that stuff, right? So it's not just saying, oh, okay, healthcare insurance, providers, hospitals, doctors. It's not just to say one thing is the cause of it. Everything is being incentivized and everything is feeding into everything that then changes how it is that we have to address and deal with certain things. If we can get to preventative care, a lot of people don't even go to the doctor and they wait till something happens to them and then they expect for things to go well for them once they start going through it. Most men that I know don't even go to the doctor and they don't do preventative care. A lot of people choose, companies need to incentivize people to be healthier. People want to smoke and they want to drink and they want to do a lot of things. So it's so many things that go into it. But I think that that's for another day and another conversation because I don't think that people are prepared to have that conversation. And then last but not least, over in New York, they're having an inflation refund proposal. Check it out.
Walking the aisles of Food Universe Marketplace in Co-op City, the pain was palpable.
Everything is more, and your check every month doesn't seem like a lot anymore.
Among those checking out was James Preston.
What's the damage today? $105.90.
When we told him about the idea of New York State sending him a check.
That'd be great. Always welcome. I don't think anybody has a problem with that.
That's what Governor Kathy Hochul was banking on as she proposed giving New Yorkers a so-called inflation refund. $500 checks from the state would go out to couples making less than $300,000, and $300 checks would go out to single tax filers making less than $150,000.
I will continue to find creative ways to let you know I understand your struggles.
The governor estimates 8.6 million New Yorkers would get checks, including 3.6 million in the city, 1.3 million on Long Island, and 986,000 in the Hudson Valley. She plans to pay for it using $3 billion in unexpected sales tax revenue. She explained that because prices have gone up, New Yorkers have also paid more in taxes while shopping. The state legislature would need to approve the plan early next year as part of the budget, and if approved, the checks are likely to go out sometime after April 1st.
You know why I don't like this? Is because Kathy Hochul is trying to hold on to whatever political cachet that she has, knowing that she allowed for Eric Adams to take the brunt of whatever was happening during the migrant crisis. She has been a horrible governor. And what they think that they can do is to issue you $500 and $300 checks to make you forget the horrible job that they've done politically for your state and for your city. I hope New Yorkers are woke, and I hope it don't take $300 to $500 in the name of an inflation refund proposal to keep y'all voting the way that y'all supposed to vote when it comes to getting these corrupt governors and mayors and these people out of office. All they doing is throwing money at your face, throwing a little bit of money, and throwing some scraps at your face to have you voting a certain way. Stop, bro. Stop. They need to learn how to manage what they have more effectively. They cut a lot of costs. And now, since they've given billions and billions of dollars to migrants, they're going to throw you a couple scraps and think that you're supposed to be cool with it. All right.